Episode 3, The Mistake. The terminal flickers to life, casting a cold, feeble light across the deserted pods. The machinery hums weakly, its sound distant and uncertain, like the building itself is unsure of its existence. The lights flash briefly, illuminating the sterile space. But before I can even register the moment, they flicker out again, plunging the room back into darkness. The only light left is the red pulse of the emergency lights, casting long, eerie shadows on the walls. A deep rumbling shakes the floor beneath me, the air vibrating with a sudden heavy weight. Then I hear it. A roar. It rips through the building, deep and guttural, too powerful to belong to any creature I know. The sound vibrates through the walls, through the very foundation of the building, shaking the air and the floors with its force. It's a terrifying, primal sound, and it makes every muscle in my body tense, my breath freezing in my throat. The roar is followed by violent, crashing bangs. Bang, 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 as if something massive is battering against the walls. The structure shakes with each blow, groaning as if it's being torn apart from the inside. I freeze, my body rigid with fear, my heart thundering in my chest. The noise is deafening, overwhelming, but I can't tear my eyes away from the terminal screen. And then, just as suddenly as it began, it stops. Silence. Thick, suffocating silence. The building seems to hold its breath. The only thing left is the steady, unnerving pulse of the red emergency light. I exhale shakily, my body trembling. The roar still echoes in my mind, and I can't shake the feeling that whatever made it is still out there, still hunting. I need to move. I need to escape. I turn away from the terminal, desperate to leave this place behind. I glance back at the screen and stumble upon the surveillance footage. With a shaky hand, I click through the timeline, skipping ahead, my eyes scanning the footage. The basement floor. My own image fills the screen. Me, struggling in the stasis pod, fighting for air, desperate to escape. I see it again. The moment I broke free, the rush of cold air, the scramble to get to the door. But then, something else catches my eye. A shadow on the first floor, lurking just beyond the reach of the camera's poor resolution. And it's moving. My heart stutters. I zoom in, but the camera is cracked and filthy. The image distorted and blurry. But I see it. A shape, moving across the first floor. It's too dark, too murky, but the figure is unmistakable. It's large, massive even, and it's hairy, long tangled strands that seem to whip and sway with each movement. The figure moves slowly, deliberate, but its features remain obscured, hidden in the deep shadows. The camera's failure to focus makes it impossible to get a clearer picture, but I don't need to see more. The shape is there, and it's real. I pull my eyes away from the screen, trying to steady my breath, but my hands are still trembling. The creature's roar is still echoing in my mind, the memory of its raw, savage sound searing through my senses. I look back to the screen, scanning through the footage again. The camera's limited view gives only the faintest outline, but I can tell it's not close. The figure moves in the distance, farther down the hall, yet still within sight. Still, that's close enough for me. I push myself away from the terminal, the fear threatening to choke me. But I force it down. I focus on the tree, the massive thing that fills the room, its roots snaking through the floor, twisting around the walls. The branches reach toward the ceiling, pressing against the walls like they're trying to take over the building. I look at the thick roots and branches, their tangled mass like a living wall. If I can climb to the hole, I might be able to reach the ceiling, find a way out. I take a deep breath, force myself to steady my trembling hands, and begin to climb. The bark is rough under my fingers as I grip the nearest branch, pulling myself upward. The tree groans with each movement, its massive limbs creaking under the pressure, but they hold. I push through the pain in my arms, my body straining with the effort. The roots twist and weave around the walls, creating a makeshift ladder that leads me higher, past the thick coils of the tree's branches. The climb is slow and grueling, but I keep going, determined to make it to the next level. The air grows hotter the higher I go, and the tree's branches grow closer, blocking out the already dim light. The room is suffocating, but I can't stop now. I pull myself upward, pushing past the aching in my limbs, ignoring the pain. The hole above me is just within reach. With one last effort, I pull myself through, landing hard on the floor of the upper room. The air in this new space is thick with dust, the air stale and still. The room feels like it's been untouched for years, abandoned, forgotten. The tree's branches twist through the floor, pressing against the walls, blocking access to most of the space. I am still trapped, but there's no time to dwell on that. The roar, the creature, it's still out there. I scan the room, my eyes darting over the wreckage. Furniture is strewn across the floor, metal desks bent under the weight of time. Papers are scattered in every corner, crumpled and yellowed with age. The roots of the tree have overtaken much of the space, curling around desks, creeping along the walls, pressing into every corner like they're trying to consume everything. Then I see it. A key card, half buried under a pile of papers and debris. I grab it quickly, brushing off the dust. The card is worn and cracked, but the label is still visible. Eden Research Facility, Level 1, access. I slip it into my pocket with shaking hands. It's my only way out. I turn back toward the wrecked desk. Among the mess of papers and broken furniture, I spot another journal, its cover worn and stained. I reach for it, my fingers trembling as I pull it free from the pile. I open it to the most recent entry, my eyes scanning the hastily written words. Date: unknown. It's not alive. I thought it was. I thought it had to be. But I was wrong. This is not a creature. Not a thing that breathes or moves or hunts. No, this is a thing that waits. It doesn't need flesh to feed. It doesn't need eyes to see. It doesn't need anything. We thought we could trap it, contain it, keep it here. But we never asked why it was here in the first place. It doesn't need to move. It doesn't need to be anything. We were its mistake, not the other way around. I don't know how long we've been here, or how long it's been here with us. It's always been here. The trees, the walls, the doors that lead nowhere. I hear them calling it the Hollow now. But it's not a thing. It's a thought, a memory, a distortion. And now, we are the ones who are erased. And soon we will all vanish. The Hollow, I mutter under my breath with a slight chuckle. I want to throw the journal across the room. It's madness. That's all it is. The deranged ramblings of someone who lost themselves in this place. This is the product of a mind unraveling in isolation, of fear and uncertainty taking root and poisoning everything. The scientist who wrote this was clearly consumed by their own descent into madness. I can hear it in the words, see it in the disjointed thoughts. They had lost touch with reality long before they wrote these final entries. I won't believe in this thing. this concept, whatever it is. The hollow is a lie, a hallucination, a coping mechanism for someone who couldn't handle the truth of what happened here. But then I remember the roar. Fear grips my mind. It can't be true. Can it? I turn away from the journal, unwilling to let its words fester in my mind any longer. But something else catches my eye. Another book, in the corner, half hidden beneath a pile of tattered papers. Survival of the Fittest. I reach for it, the title mocking me as I pull it from the dust. The cover is worn, the pages brittle, but the irony isn't lost on me. I slip it into my back pocket, holding onto something real, something that doesn't belong to the madness of this place. I glance at the thick branches blocking the door, the branches pressing against the walls like a living prison. The keycard is my only way forward. With a deep breath, I move toward the basement again, my heart pounding. The roar, the creature, it's still out there. I don't know what it is, but I know one thing. I can't stay here. I make my way back down the tree, using the same route I used before. I push through the thick groves of brush and trees, and finally reach the door. I shove the keycard into the reader and wait, my breath caught in my throat. The red light on the card reader flashes green, and the door clicks open. I step forward. I'm not free yet, but I'm closer, and I will find my way out, no matter what that creature is. No matter what it's hunting. I've made up my mind. I will survive.